Hey, Joshua from King's Carvings here. I'm going to work on a little project here, and I'm going to talk to you about pricing. I get a lot of ups and downs, people talking about the prices of my stuff in my shop, and most of you on here, I think you pretty much understand. Most people come in, they see my stuff, and they're like, okay, yeah, I understand. But there are quite a few people out here that don't quite understand why things are so expensive. Now, on the other side of that, I do get a lot of people that come in and tell me I don't charge enough. So it's all a matter of perspective and what's in your wallet. Like a little secret, I probably couldn't afford half the stuff that I make either. I'm a poor boy. But that's why I learned to make it, so I don't have to buy it. um, but as far as pricing, the first thing I look into, especially with a custom order, is materials. Now, prices of materials have gone up a lot just in the last few years. They've come down a little bit since then, but they're still up there. So I have to try and come into consideration how much is it going to cost for me to put this together. You know, and along with materials is time. Time, that's the big part. That's the part that really costs. How long is it going to take me to make this project for you? Or how long did it take for me to make the project you buy? And there's a lot of factors that go into time that people don't really think about. I mean, first there's the obvious, how long is it going to take me to make? I got to draw it, I got to cut it out, I got to put it together, burn it, paint it, color it, put a coating over it. It all takes time. A lot of my stuff takes several hours to make. And I charge generally around $20 an hour, sometimes higher if it's a big build like a bed or a shelf or something like that. It's going to take a lot more energy and precision. But the other part about time that people don't think about is setup. Like in my shop, I do so many different kinds of projects. I use different kinds of tools for different projects, and it can take me, 15, 20 minutes to a half an hour just to set up an area to get started. That's time out of my pocket as well. As well as if I don't have the right materials I need, I gotta drive all the way to Des Moines, because I don't live in Des Moines. I live out of town about half an hour and get that stuff. So that's gas too. I don't usually charge customers for gas because I just put that in taxes, but people tell me I should. But it is, something. So, we got materials and we got time. And there are other factors too, especially if I'm working at a fair or a festival. The one thing a lot of people don't think about, because when people go into a festival, they see all of the pretty stuff and they're like, wow, this stuff is expensive. I can buy this cheaper online, which you can. That's what you want to do it. It is cheaper. The reason why it's so expensive at fairs and festivals and stuff is because, first of all, we have to pay to be there. Like us vendors, we have to pay a certain amount of money, whether it's $50, but it can get up to like $500 if it's a big festival that we put a lot of money just to be there. The second thing is setup. Everybody takes a different amount of time to set up, but me personally, I will go the day before. I'll show up anywhere between 10 and 12, depending on where it is, how long it takes me to get there. I will spend all day that Friday usually setting up. It is a 6 to 8 hour process. So that's 6 to 8 hours of time I am not being paid for. And it's hard work too. Like, I don't know, and those of you who have seen my tent and my setup and stuff, it's a lot of work. A lot of times I'm doing it alone. I do get help sometimes, and thank you for everybody who has helped me. But yeah, just setup alone is a lot of work. And for those of us who can't set up on our own, we have to pay others to do it for us. So there's more money out of our pockets that we have to make back in our art, in our merchandise, whatever. So yeah, so there's some things that people don't always think about. Now, as far as while I'm in the shop, people come in. Like I said, I get those spectrums. I get people who tell me, you don't charge enough for this stuff. And, I get that it's a compliment. I do, and I take it as a compliment. But I try and keep my prices somewhat reasonable. because I want people to have my art. This is why I do it. I mean, I need to pay the bills too, so I have to have it as, I can't rip myself off. And for some things I will charge more. And the other thing is, another aspect of time is how long have I had the object or the item. If I've had it for a year or two, I got no problem taking the price down. So obviously it's not a big seller, or it just, the right person hasn't come in. Which brings me to people wanting to haggle. Now, I ain't gonna lie, some merchants hate hagglers. There's like, this is the price, I don't want to mess with it. Now, I don't necessarily hate hagglers. I understand, because, people want a deal, and you never know. Someone might say yes. And sometimes I do. If you ask me to bring the price down, sometimes I will, especially if it's an older item. Or if you buy 5 or 6 things, a lot of things, I might take a few bucks off here and there, whatever, but not always. And that's the other point, is if I say no, don't take it personally, don't get angry at me, because I've had people actually get angry at me because I say no. It's a brand new item, that's what the price is, I'm not willing to sell it for less right now, Like I said, most people get this stuff, some people don't. But it's, like I said, it's all a matter of perspective. Yes, you're probably right. I could charge more for my stuff. I know it's worth it, and there's a lot of people out there who would agree. But at the same time, I know my demographic. A lot of the people I sell this stuff to are geeks like me. And, we don't tend to have a lot of floating money. We spend most of our floating money on, woodworking and D&D and, sculptures and geek stuff. And to all of you out there, I appreciate you for that. And I know the struggle. But I thought I would just, talk about the pricing thing a little bit for those of you who just, don't quite understand or haven't thought about it all that much. But there are a lot of things that come to pricing, and not just me, but other merchants and stuff, well, especially those of us who make our own stuff, who do our own work and put our own time into it. The price is going to be higher. It just is, and it should be. Unfortunately, not a lot of money floating out there right now, at least, not in everybody's hands. But the other part I'm going to say is, don't be afraid to ask. I know a lot of my prices are high and stuff, but if you have a project or an idea you want to do, you got an idea about it, talk to me about it. And I can probably think of less costly ways to do it for you. If you have a certain budget, that's always the best thing. I got $100, I can't go over $100, but I want a shield that has, I don't know, a Celtic dragon on it. Okay, I can make you a shield for $100. It's not going to be the most detailed, but I can get something around what you want for that, Or payments. I have done payments as well. Payments depends on the project. If the project is too specific, I might not do payments, because if you suddenly decide you don't want it, and I can't sell it to somebody else, and that's my loss. But if it's something that I think that I could possibly sell to somebody else, yeah, I'll do payments. That's not a big problem. And a lot of us are willing to work with the people and our fans and our people who support us, because that's why we do it. We enjoy it. This is my dream job. Unfortunately, this doesn't pay my bills, at least not all of them, so I have to have a real job too. Hopefully someday I can do this by itself, but time will tell. Because as I said, I got mouths to feed and bills to pay as well. And yeah, don't really have much else to say on it, or I'm probably just forgetting what else I was going to say. I don't, I do think about this stuff a lot, and I am willing to talk about it and make deals, and at the very least, don't be afraid to talk to me about my work and ask questions. You are not going to offend me by asking questions. But you also have to not take offense when I answer those questions honestly. Right? So it's give and take. And I guess that's pretty much it. Almost done burning this shield in. Not quite done. You can sit and watch me do the rest, and I can try and babble, but talking really is not my strong suit unless I have a topic. But thank you for watching my video and listening to me, and if anybody has any questions or comments or think of anything about costs that I forgot about, because I know there's a few of you vendors and stuff that watch me as well, feel free to mention it in the comments. Educate the people. I found out recently that a lot of people really like bats, so that's why I'm doing a bat shield. I actually had an infestation of bats in my attic here recently. I had to do a bunch of work to get them out, so that cost me money too. In a perfect world, my perfect world at least, I would do this stuff for trade, Butcher me a cow, get me some meat, I'll make a nice bed or a table or chair for you. That's another thing to think about. If any of you don't have a lot of money, but you have a trade skill of your own that I might find useful, let me know. I do trades as well. Cash is usually best. Like I said, I got bills to pay, but if it's something I am truly interested in, I'd be willing to do it. There's no harm in asking. And that is one thing I like about the Ren Fair community and stuff like that, is we do a lot of trades amongst each other as well. Because there are a lot of awesome artists and workers and stuff at the Ren Fairs and stuff that have become kind of my family. And so we try and look out for each other, and that's another reason why I'm making this video, is because a lot of people don't understand the pricing of things, and they either complain or they get angry when they can't afford something, and I can say that I totally understand, but there is a reason behind that. It's not because we're greedy. In all honesty, most of us Ren Fair workers who do this kind of stuff for a living barely get by. We can, we don't make a lot of money. We do this because we love it. So that's just something to think about when buying something from a vendor, especially an artist or a handcrafted good. The other vendors are important too. Everybody likes stuff. But just give a shout out. Maybe if you do have a little extra money, tip your artists, not just me, but the others. I have gotten tips before, and it is very appreciated. Yeah, I guess that's it. Bat shield. Thank you for listening. Hope you have a good day.